Hey there! I was contacted by Luca from Samai Pens, and we chatted a bit through email, and he makes pens. He's in Italy and he likes larger pens. He has bigger hands, so this is checking a lot of boxes for me. And he said, so I 3D print pens, would you like to try one out? I said, absolutely. What do you have on offer? He showed me some models and I picked the Bold. Now, I'm going to give you one bit of sad news. I could not find the Bold on his website. I didn't have time to ask him for a price. But I will give you the price of a comparable model. You're going to have to cope, okay? But you can always reach out to Luca and see what these cost. 3D printed, nice pens. And this is a very nice one, I think, because it has a number 8 nib, B.R.E nib, titanium number 8, which is quite nice because people love the number 8 nibs. I think there's a lot going for these pens. I'm going to cover the parts, I'll do a writing sample, and I'll tell you what I like about it, what I don't like about it. But before that, let me give a heartfelt thank you to Luca for sending me one. I really appreciate it. This is one that I have been using a lot and I've had a lot of fun with. So let's check it out. Okay, so here we go with the Samai Bold in anthracite. So I'll show you the pen right next to a Pilot Metropolitan. Big pen, right? Fairly long, but not excessively long, but it's definitely very girthy. So let me just show you the box, and then we will go over the parts of the pen. The box got buried. I had it here just now. Oh God, I put my notes on it. Okay. What you see is what you get with B.R.E. Brown videos. So Samai, simple cardboard box. I like this because if you end up not liking this, you can recycle this. And it's kind of nice. It comes with a little Samai made in Imola in Italy card on a fairly nice cardstock model of the pen, Bold number 8, broad, titanium, and built and tested by Luca, which is also a nice personal touch. There is also, and I quite like that, it's just a little difficult to extricate. There we go. We have this writing sample, which I think is really neat too, so you can see that your pen actually wrote at some point. Okay. And then what I really liked is this pen sleeve, and this, I'm not entirely sure what material this is, but it feels like denim. Which I thought was quite nice, and it's like a little sort of monk's robe, which is only open there. So you take the pen and you slip it in that way, and then it's like your pen is a little Jedi with a robe and a hood. I'm probably the only person on earth who feels that way, but there we are. Okay, pen. I'll put this down for comparison. I'll chat for a little bit and then I'll show you the parts. So 3D printed. I couldn't find a price for the Bold model on the website, and I should have asked Luca, but I forgot, and then I started to record, and now here we are. What I can tell you is there is a similar model which looks a lot like it, called the Lorem Ipsum, which I'm assuming is a little bit smaller because it has at least a number 6 nib. That one is 128 Canadian. So I'm assuming this one will be a little bit more expensive because it has the number 8 nib and all that stuff. 3D printed, out of nylon, cap and body are nylon 12, which is light, it's durable, and if you want to know how light, it's 21 grams capped, it's 16 grams uncapped. So even though it is a larger pen, it's really not that heavy. It has triple star threads, which are 3 times as good as single star threads. As you can tell, I really know what I'm talking about in this case, which means you can uncap the pen with a single turn, and that's actually quite nice if you are in a hurry or whatever. As I said, the Lorem Ipsum model comes with a steel Jowo number 6 nib in the full lineup. Extra fine, fine, medium, broad, 1.1, 1.5 millimeter. I doubt that lineup exists because I don't think B.R.E makes a number 8 1.5 millimeter nib, for example. That'd be really cool, but I don't think they do. And that's pretty much it. You get a converter with it. I have the feeling you might be able to eyedropper this. I'll come back to that later, but let's first look at the parts of the pen. It's a simple model, right? Finial, top of the cap is just the same material as the rest of the cap. Barrel, I quite like the shape where it gets a little wider and then narrows down again. It is indeed very light. So if you like heavier pens, this is really not for you. What I quite like, and indeed it uncaps very easily, you could even do that single-handedly quite easily. I do like the overall proportions of the pen. I think it looks quite nice. Big barrel, nice section, fairly straight. I think it tapers down a little bit, but not by much. Flares out, B.R.E number 8. Also, I really like this B.R.E number 8 nib. Usually I get the feeling they are duller, a duller material, and this really looks a little reflective and shinier than usual, which I thought was quite nice. Ebonite feed. I love that the B.R.E number 8 nibs come with ebonite feeds. Very nice writers, very good ink flow. We have here, you unscrew it, we have the converter that came with the pen. Like I said, this is just a tube closed off at one end, the barrel, and then we have an O-ring there. Put some silicone grease on that, and I bet you can use this as an eyedropper filled pen, but I just haven't tried it. Eyedroppers are not really my thing. It's a lot of ink to get spilled. Threads are big, they're not sharp. I feel them, but I don't feel them cutting into my skin. And the section is big. It's a long section. Luca describes he has big hands. I believe you, because if this is comfortable to you, you have bigger hands. The whole setup kind of posts, but as you can see, it does not post deeply. It becomes very big. I think this pen is big enough to use unposted. Sorry, I'm going the wrong way around, but quite nice. Let's see if we can do a writing sample. Sorry, that was a bit weird, but bold. This is a number 8 broad nib. This is Eldergrove blue, which I like a lot. Nice washable blue, but quite intense. Lovely writing nib, broad without being excessively broad. I think very good for everyday writing. I haven't had hard starts, I haven't had issues with it, so really nice. Fast writing. As you can see, it really keeps up well. Ebonite feed, lovely. Wetness, really quite nice. Naturally, not an awful lot. Line variation is really a round nib, but with the titanium nibs, you can exert some pressure and get away with it. Be careful, they do spring. I have seen them spring. You don't get the warning feeling that you get with a gold nib. I would be very hesitant, and I used to flex titanium nibs. I don't do it anymore. This one feels pretty solid, so for a slightly more expressive signature or something you can, but I don't do it anymore. I've seen them get bent out of shape. It's not pleasant for anyone. So I wouldn't do it, but you know, to each their own. Reverse writing, for those who enjoy such a thing, is a little bit scratchier, but still quite smooth. You can hear it though. Bit more feedback, but as you can see, it keeps going very well. Quite pleasant. Very nice pen. One thing I wanted to point out is that Luca also included something for me. He sells them in packs of 3. I just left it wrapped so you could see it. It's a pen rest. So sorry for the crackling noise. Let's do some ASMR. I am crackling a plastic bag. Once B.R.E. is in your head, he will never leave. Okay, opening this up was a lot harder than I thought it would be. has PhD, cannot open plastic bag. 3D printed writing instruments, Samai pens, check them out, social media stuff, etc. And then you have the 3D printed pen rest, which I think is quite nice. This definitely has those grooves. Let's do some more ASMR. I will live rent-free in your head for the rest of your life. Okay. Wouldst thou like to live deliciously? Anyway, here you can see those, you see the material. I don't know if you, sorry, that made no sense. You see the lines in the material, how it is printed. And on the pen, you don't see that at all. You have that nice texture. Oh, that's, the camera's picking that up nicely. I'm happy with that. So it's a little different, but it's a pen rest. It works very well that way or that way. And I really like it this way. Oops, sorry. Because a lot of pen rests, they can only take a pen this way. But I really like this because then the pen is not touching the desk. And for some reason, that makes me happy. Let me know if that makes you happy or if I'm really weird. Well, I know I'm really weird, but I mean very weird in this particular sense. He sells these in packs of 3 for 36 Canadian. So just so you know, and there are different colors available, obviously. Let's talk about some likes and dislikes. What do I like? What do I not like about the Samai Bold? There are a couple of things I really like. If you've watched my videos for a while, you know that this is the kind of pen that ticks a lot of my boxes. It's large, it's a smaller pen maker. 3D printing I think is quite cool, and I think that when you do that right, you can get a really cool effect. And I kind of like the slightly rough texture. I'm sorry, it's a little hard to make the camera focus, but I really like the way that came out. It's not for everyone, right? But I like that a lot. Number 8 nib, always cool. Given that it's a bigger pen, I think it looks very proportional. Otherwise, it would, number 6 nib would look small on this. Very girthy pen, right? I like that a lot. As I said, I can't really talk about the price, but given that a very similar looking model with a number 6 nib is 128 Canadian, I'm assuming this would be a bit more expensive because of the number 8 nib. I think that's a fairly fair price for, again, smaller batches for 3D printed pens. Clearly there is some processing done to get the texture on it. I think it's really neat. It's also like we have evolved from the era where you could just really see the sort of material in layers being printed. I think it's very neat. So if you like a larger pen, if you like a light pen, I think it's a great model. I see no reason why you wouldn't be able to eyedropper this with some silicone grease on the threads. There already is a O-ring there, so I don't see why I wouldn't be able to do it. I just haven't tried it. So I think all that's really neat. Things I don't like so much about it. Not a lot, I have to be honest. I think the price is pretty fair. Again, even though I don't know the price for this model, having looked at the quality of this pen and then some of the other models on the website, I think it's a fairly fair price. Again, smaller pen makers, they cannot offer their pens for 10 bucks, right? It's not feasible. So I think it's fair, especially given it's a very pleasant writer. What I don't like about it so much is it is big and girthy, and that's exactly what I wanted. So for me, this is not an issue, but if you like smaller pens, you have smaller hands, I don't think this would be comfortable. So maybe look at one of his smaller options, like Lorem Ipsum maybe. Some of the other models that would be a bit smaller. That one has a number 6 nib, by the way. That's really all I have. Likewise, if you don't like bigger pens, don't get it. If you'd like really heavy pens, this is absolutely not it. If you've never held a 3D printed pen, let me emphasize, these pens are very light, so that might not be for you then. That's all there's to it. A very kind thank you once again to Luca. I really appreciate this. This pen is rapidly becoming one of my favorite pens. Just a beautiful writer and a very comfortable pen to me, so I really like it. I hope that was useful, and I'll gladly see you later.